Before we start, a couple noteworthy achievements. Reagan Bradley had 7 assists in a game for the second time this season. She now has games with 9, 8, 7, and 7. The freshman record in a game is 10, set by Kendall Shedd on January 25th, 2003. Reagan now has 4 of the top 5 freshman assist performances. She has 85 assists this season and is 10 away from tying the freshman single season record. That was set in 1982-83 with 95 by Tammy Hollis. As a team on the defensive end of the floor, the Mustangs have now held back-to-back conference opponents to fewer than 45 points. That's the 3rd game of the sort this season, as Rice scored 43 when SMU defeated them in the 2nd game of the season. With that, we'll let Coach Mays make a statement, and then we'll open it up with questions.
Absolutely. I would like to actually talk about something, then come back to the game. It's been brought to my attention, also to our athletic department attention, that we've had a player or several players, former players, that have mentioned some things that happened that they're pretty upset about, and it's been expressed, and always that's something that touches me. I think myself as a coach, I think us as an athletic department always try to ensure that our student athletes have a great experience here at SMU. And it's always disappointing when you hear that one of our student athletes feels that we fell short of that. And when I hear that, it's one of those things where sometimes you can push, which our job is to push people outside the comfort zones, and sometimes you can say things, whether it's using the wrong verbiage or at the wrong time when you don't need to express some of that. But it's a learning curve. I mean, I look at the fact that as a first-time coach, head coach, because I've been coaching for a long time, and I've noticed from moving from maybe that assistant coach, that associate head coach position to the head coach's position, things are heard a little different. And I've learned some things that you can say, some things you can't say. I've learned from that. I've grown from that, and I'm happy to say so. So I know many people may hear and read those things, and I do want to apologize and own that, but say that we always want to try to do our best to make sure each and every one of our student athletes have a great experience. And I didn't mean to say that to take away from what has been done, but it's just been brought to our attention, and we're also going to speak with our current players about anything that's being said, and make sure that we circle up and speak with parents to make sure that we try to take care of that situation and make sure we all learn from it. And
Thoughts on the game?
I would say this may be one of this season's best effort. I would compare it closely to the Rice game, and I would have to go back and look at the two to figure out which one was the most complete. But I see here we won all 4 quarters, and that's been something we've been striving to do, to where we put together our best 40 minutes. And I thought tonight we did our best job of putting together all 40 minutes. It wasn't perfect, but if I look at the 2 games prior to our last 2 games, we fell short. We played about 35, 37 minutes, but I think we are continuing to grow, and I hope we gain some confidence from this last couple wins.
Question?
You mentioned the defense the last couple of games. You've been giving up an average of 41 the last 2 games. What's working particularly well on the defensive end lately for you?
I think we're extremely connected. We get success early, and I think we build on that. Defense is not something that's glamorous. Defense is not something that gets a whole lot of attention. For the most part, people don't recognize what's actually been done good, or the only thing they know is whether or not the other team doesn't score. I think the only thing that's noticed on the defensive end, if someone blocks a shot or someone gets a steal. I think our discipline on the defensive end has been really, really good early in the first 2 quarters of the last 2 games, which is, I've seen the look in our opponent's eyes. It creates a little bit of confusion. and they stopped trusting their offensive execution to a point, and I think we gained momentum from that.
Kayla White has 18 points. You had 4 scoring in double figures. What did you like most on the offensive end from your team tonight?
Well, I like the fact that we was trying to execute our offense, but we were also taking what the defense was giving us. They was giving Kayla the jump shot. We told her to take it a couple times in the first half. She was catching and she was just looking to drive when they was actually giving her the jump shot. And I think she settled back down and just took what they gave us, and we let the game come to. Even though we were being aggressively trying to execute each and every one of our offensive sets, we wasn't forcing anything.
Wichita State was missing 3 players, including Mariah McCullough, who's their leading scorer and leads in a couple other statistical categories. How different was the team you played tonight compared to the one you scouted on film?
Well, I think they missed her. Anytime you lose a player, I'm gonna tell you right now, we miss Rashawn Tolley. I mean, we miss her like crazy. There's times the rotation, and I'm looking down there to find someone that I can pick and pop from the post position, a trail to hit that 3, and I keep going back to Cage and I'm gonna say Paige and Janasia Cash. It's a different team. You look at it, but that's what you have to adjust to throughout the season. Whether a player gets in foul trouble, whether they're injured or not with the team, totally a different team. But for us, we were going to be prepared to play their best team.
Travis was talking about Reagan Bradley having 9, 8, 7, 7, I think, in assists, and is very close to the freshman record. And you've spoken very highly of her ever since she signed with you last year. Mm-hmm. Has she exceeded your expectations this year?
I have very high expectations for Reagan. She haven't exceeded them, but what she has exceeded, I'm extremely proud to see a freshman come in and just work. I see her hit the wall at times. I see her try to figure it out, and she can't figure it out, but she tries to figure it out because she doesn't have that experience. And she doesn't ask the coaches, which she should. Don't tell her I said this. I know y'all won't tell her. She should ask the coaches, but her willingness to learn, her willingness to persevere through her struggles. She hadn't played a perfect game, but I tell you what, she gonna get you several 10-assist games before this season is over. That's what I feel. So I just have a high ceiling for her.
You outscored Wichita State 32-22 in each half. And as coincidental as that may seem, how did the halves look different from your perspective?
Well, it looks like we were extremely confident and focused on executing the game plan in the first half. I mean, it looked like we was trying to send a message. In the second half, it looked a little bit more like, okay, we can relax a little bit. And then we look like, okay, we're trying to get ours. I mean, okay, we up enough, let me get a few more points here. We start getting away from the execution, which is normal, it happens. But for us to make the run that we actually want to run, we have to execute a little bit better. But listen, we continue to dig, we continue to fight, and we fought enough to where they never really got any dangerous runs on us.
How concerned were you when Jakia White got hurt? And
Always.
Do you have any early report on how she's feeling?
Always concerned when I see one of our players go down. I mean, at this point in the season, I mean, when I saw Rashawn Tolley go down, I never thought that she would not get back up or I would lose her for the season. So anytime a player hits the deck, sprains an ankle, tweaks an ankle, or do anything, I'm like, get up, you know. So I was extremely concerned, always concerned, but it looks like she's okay. She said, you know, she seemed like, I joked with her going through the tunnel here a few minutes ago, and she seemed to be okay. I know what I will do. I would take it extremely light on her tomorrow when we come to practice because we got a really, really big game in Orlando on Saturday.
We mentioned the 4 players in double figures, and you talked about the improved offense, but with the defense that you've shown in the last couple of games, is that the benchmark now? This team's going to be as good as the defense can be?
I think it has always been that. I don't think we've been blazing on the offensive end, even though we came out scoring, had a few games where we scored a few more points here, but I think our defense has pretty much been our base of our identity. I don't think they want to believe that. I think they want to score the ball a little bit more. But I think we're getting close. And they're speaking the language. They all speak the exact same language. It's funny is I didn't put anything on the board pregame. I said, okay, y'all tell me what are the keys to the game. And so when I got this piece of paper right here, I just wrote down everything that they said. It never went on the board. So I said, what I would do is I'll remind you what our team goals are. So they owned everything that they did tonight, and I think that's a huge step to this team taking a step, getting better.